Hello, this is Toby, and today I'll be talking to you about repotting cacti and how to do it. So repotting cacti is a process in which you move one cacti from its original pot into a new pot for many different reasons, which I'll be talking about today, and the video will be showing you how to actually do it. So first things first, you want good soil for your cacti. So we're gonna step away from the soil. I want to make some soil. So what soil you want for your cacti and succulents? You want a well-drained soil. That's to make everything simple. You want a well-drained soil because they don't like soggy soil, and they don't like soggy roots as well, because they do tend to rot. So we want to make some soil for our cacti and succulents. You can buy pre-made cacti and succulent mix, which also works, but I like to improve what they already have. So what we're gonna first add in is 2 parts of already made cacti and succulent mix. So there's an empty bag here I'm just gonna tip in. That's 1 part. There's barely anything in there. I'm just gonna be measuring it out using a little shovel. I'll add another part from a newly opened one. That's 2 parts cacti and succulent soil, just from regular mixes. Next, I want to add in a bit of perlite, so for aeration to the roots. So we're going to add 1 scoop, so 1 part. And be careful with perlite, the dust might get in your nose and it might do some damage. And then we're going to add 1 part grit for drainage. So here's a part of grit. And then we're going to add 1 part sand for extra drainage as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get a smaller shovel and just mix everything up. So now that everything's mixed up, I can show you the soil mix. Now obviously this isn't a lot of soil. I'll have to make more over the course of this video, but it's going to be the same thing as this. You can see it's very gritty, and obviously it's going to be very well drained. So that's some very good soil. Now there are many reasons we want to repot, and the most obvious reason is that the plant needs a bigger pot. Like this ASTROPHYTUM hybrid here, I brought it this year in autumn, and it was already in this pot, and you can see that the pot is obviously a bit small for the plant. The body is touching the pot, and the thorns are getting squished in. So that's one reason we want to repot. Same with this GYMNOCALYCIUM. It's just a bit flat right now because it's lacking a bit of water, but you can see that the roots are coming out, and this obviously needs repotting because soon it's going to be impossible to water it. And same with this one, it's a bit small. And another reason you want to repot is you want to change the soil mix for a cacti, but I don't have any cacti which you need to change the soil mix right now because they're all in pretty good soil. But if you have a cacti you bought and your soil looks really dodgy, you might want to repot as well, just to change the quality of the soil. And another reason is you might want to put in a more decorative pot. This GYMNOCALYCIUM I placed in this pot around, I think, 2 years ago. But I didn't want it in this pot. It was more of a temporary pot for it, so that's why I'm going to be putting it into a different pot. So we're going to be repotting 5 cacti today, right here, and I'll be showing you what to do for each. So now we're going to be talking about choosing a pot for your cacti, and we're going to start with the ASTROPHYTUM hybrid. So when choosing a pot for your cacti, you want a pot that is 1 size larger if they come in sizes, but if not, just choose a pot that looks slightly bigger, like this. You don't want to choose something overly big, like for example, if you're repotting this, you don't want to put it in that. That's just silly. Because if you have that much soil and you water the plant, the roots are only going to take up, so let's say I put this in here, the roots are only going to take up this little circle. All the rest is going to be wet soggy soil, which will lead to rot. So that's why you don't want to repot in a pot that's too big and not too shallow, deep either, because if it's too deep, the same problem will occur. And that's why we're repotting. If you look at the pots we're repotting, they're usually pretty shallow. They're usually not taller than its width, except for these square pots for small plants. So I want to get on with repotting. So another issue you have to look out for when you're repotting is how spiny the cacti is. So here's a normal process of repotting a cacti. I doubt there's going to be enough soil mix we just made. So how to do a regular repot. So what we're going to do is, I haven't watered the cacti yet, so first of all, make sure that it's a good time to do it. It's already about to be October and a lot of my cacti have already started to grow, so it's time. I think it's time to do it now. If you do it slightly early, it's not going to matter as long as you don't do it in the cold. It's not cold anymore, so we can do it. So first, you take the cacti out of its pot, and you can see that it's got very healthy roots, so we're not going to worry about it. We can loosen some of the soil like that, just so that the roots will go into the new soil better. Being careful not to break the roots. Some of it will break off, it's inevitable. So what we're going to do is get rid of the old soil that just came off, get a new pot. First, fill the new pot so that when you place the plant in, it will stand up to the level you want it to be. So I'm just filling the plant with soil. Pretty self-explanatory step right here. And if I move the plant, that's just a bit shallow, so we're going to get one more scoop. So that's a good level. That's a very good level. And what we're going to do is turn it to make sure it's not. You want to place it in the center as centered as possible. And we're going to just fill the edges of the pot, not the pot with the soil. So usually you can get like a shovel or anything to do. I'm just doing it with my hand. Or you can make your own little device, which makes it easier. So I'll put my camera near the edge of the pot just to show you what's going on. You see, I'm just filling the soil in, and there's some pretty big rocks as well that came out of the pot, so at the bottom. So I might save those rocks for some other use. So I'm gonna save the rocks first. I'm just putting in a little thing which I'll show you later. So we're gonna fill the plant, make sure it's still centered while you're doing. You don't want it to be as centered as possible. And we're just filling the edges with the soil. And we just have enough soil we made for this. So that's pretty good. And the next step is, it's really an optional step. So before I show you the next step, I'm going to show you how much soil is left. We didn't make that much soil, so there's barely any left. But the next step is you want to add some top dressing. And top dressing is just little rocks you put on top to make it look good. And I just put the little rocks in here, so I'm going to take the little rocks I found from the pot in here. So the top dressing, there's no really any specific formula for it. You can buy pre-made top dressing, or you just add grit as top dressing. It doesn't matter. I added 2-part pre-made top dressing and 1-part grit just to make the color less bright and more natural looking. So this is just your typical top dressing. What we're going to do is grab it in our hands. We go towards the cacti. I literally just place it on the surface of the soil. So not that hard. We grab it. Let me show you guys. And we just simply sprinkle it on. Now obviously this cactus doesn't have too many spines, so we don't have to worry about the soil or anything getting everywhere. And if it does get in the spines in this one, it just comes out easily. But in some of the other ones, you have to be careful not to just randomly spray everywhere. So tap it so that everything goes in. And here's the finished product. You can see it's in a pot. It looks good. It just lacks a bit of top dressing here. Putting some on. You see, it looks good, and it can be watered the next day, but it's still pretty bloated, the plant. So I don't think it needs to be watered. You can see it's pretty scented, and you can see it's a very good plant. Those spines were because of the small pot, so that's why I wanted to repot it. So we're going to be repotting the other one. So we're going to get our GYMNOCALYCIUM here, our small one. So I made some soil, and what we're going to do is first see how the roots of this cacti are doing. So we squeeze it and let the old soil just fall out. We're going to loosen the soil a bit, tease away the old soil. There's not a lot of roots actually, so it's a bit big for this pot. We might have, just for the sake of it, I think, because the plant body is big but the root's small. So here's when the root dictates what pot to use. If we're just looking at the body of the plant, I'd say that the other pot is good, but because there's not that many roots, we're going to use a smaller pot, because the roots will rot if you use a bigger pot. So we'll have to get another of these pots. I didn't plan this for that one. So same thing like before, we add a bit of soil and we add it around the edges. Very quick process, so you guys can see a clump of soil. You can see, very quick process, adding it in spaces. I'm going to make sure there's few air pockets in there as possible. I want to see if I can repot this again next year. So although the pot looks small for it, we're gonna have to go with this. So see, we smack it like this, so you can see it's still a lot of room, but we're gonna fill it with top dressing. I think I just have enough top dressing for this. I'm just gonna pour it on. I know it'll look dirty, we can brush it off with the brush later. Your workplace will get pretty messy, so you're gonna have to clean it up afterwards. That's inevitable because you're dealing with soil. I'm gonna tap it so top dressing goes in, and with a little brush, we brush all the soil, all the dust, everything off the plant. So it looks clean. Try not to damage the areoles or the spines. Or you can blow it. Just blowing it. And that's another one repotted. Look how beautiful it looks. Now we're going to repot the one which just needs a different pot but not upsize. So this is the GYMNOCALYCIUM, and it's been flowered every year since it was in this pot. Well, we're going to take it out now. So, as you see, it's a pretty beautiful plant. I'm going to put it into a smaller pot, because that was a temporary pot. The soil wasn't that good, but you can see it fits well in this pot. So, I really hope there's enough soil I made. I don't want to have to make it halfway through this. As I said, place enough soil in there so that the plant can stand up. Oh, that's not enough soil. Still not enough soil. That's enough soil. they probably won't need to be repotted soon, so we're just gonna make sure that they're in a good pot, like this. The soil's good, everything's good, and they'll be good. I don't think I mixed the soil up properly. I think some sandy, some. Oh, it's too late now. So there we go. And next step, top dressing. We ran out, so I'm gonna show you how I make it look good. So this little pot, I'm gonna get a little bag of top dressing, and we're gonna get a little. It doesn't really matter about the proportions, just what you feel like. We'll get just a bit. We're gonna be repotting more, so we're just gonna slap some in there. And I'm gonna seal up my bag of stuff, my top dressing. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get just some grit, because it looks pretty yellow. Just some grit, not too much. I don't want to waste it. I have a big bag of grit. So it's good to have these raw materials around, and you know, mix it. That's good enough. Back to the repotting. There's our plant. Here's a top dressing, and literally just dress the plant with the top dressing. Lift that up a bit. And if your cacti has fragile spines, try not to lift it from the spines, because it will most likely break. So that's another tip. You can't really do this with the ceramic pot, but this is not that centered. That's something I don't like, so I'm gonna put some under there so it's centered. It's another one done. Beautiful right there. 3. You see how they look a lot better. So now I'll be showing you how to deal with the spiny cacti, and I've seen a lot of people try to use gloves. And one thing I have to tell you, if you're using gloves like this, not gonna work. If you look at the spines on this, and then you look at the gloves with this, obviously it's gonna go through. If you put a lot of pressure, that's gonna go straight into it. See, it's already got into your glove, and your hand would have been ruined. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna get some bubble wrap, and I'll show you in a minute. Move that aside. Well, actually no, we don't move it aside. Some bubble wrap, and what we're gonna do is, I'm just folding it up right now on some bubble wrap with the bubble side on the outside, obviously, like this. We make a little sort of cloth. Let's pull the tag off the thing so I can actually grab it. Pull it with a little cloth. You sit the cacti on there, and you gently press, and you pull the pot out. And the reason you gently press is you don't want to damage the spines of the cacti. So this way, with the bubble wrap, you're not damaging your hands or the cacti. So that's a win-win. And then repotting is as usual. You get the pot, and we ran out of soil, so we're gonna have to do this again. So I just made the soil, and we're gonna put it in. So I'm gonna hold it without the bubble wrap now, because you got the little root mass you can hold it with. So see this beautiful little Echinopsis, or Trichocereus, if you prefer us to call it that, because really it's an Echinopsis, but Trichocereus will also do. See, that's too much soil. Pour some of it back. It's fresh soil, so you don't have to be bad. There we go. That's a good level. Now we're just holding it in place gently, so you don't need to press hard. So now is when you want to be careful not to get the stuff into the spines, because getting stuff out from that is going to be a pain. Like literally, it's going to be painful, and it's going to be annoying. So here's where you have to be careful. The hand, make a little thing. If it drops on the floor, well, too bad. It's better than getting into the plant and never coming out again. So I do apologize for it being a bit dark. Just doing this in the afternoon, so obviously it's going to become more and more dim. So that's a good repot, and we're going to add top dressing like before. Just a thin layer. As I said before, top dressing is really optional. If you don't have it, then just don't worry about it. It's literally for decorativeness. And we tap. Everything sits. That's another cacti repotted. And we're going to go into the last but not least, my other big spiny one, big spiny boy, Echinocactus grusonii albispinus. And it's different from the normal grusonii because it's got white spines. Although the center is a bit yellow because of the new spines, it turns white. And if you look at my original one, that one's yellow and the spines on this one is white. So if I just put it side by side, you can see the difference. And it's got much more delicate spines on this as well. So we're gonna have to be careful not to break the spine. So with the bubble wrap, lean the plant onto the bubble wrap, hold it and pull it, squeeze the pot and pull it out. Now undo the bubble wrap. You see it's come out nicely. Very good trick. And I'm praying there's enough soil. There's better be enough soil. I'm filling up the pot just like before. That might be a bit too much. No, that's good. That was perfect amount of soil. So, no, that's definitely not centered. Trying to fix it up. There we go. There we go. And same, you fill it up carefully, not getting it everywhere inside the plant. So I'm just checking, and that should be good. We're going to add our final bit of top dressing. I'm just going to pour it on like this. A lot easier. Not turning it. I think that looks good. Give it a tap. It's a bit wobbly, so we're going to add all of it. Top dressing. Tap it. It's a bit shaky, but it'll be alright. I planted a bit shallow, but that should be fine. So that's all of the cacti done. This soil I could possibly recycle and use again, but not obviously for long term, for short term uses. So we can recycle this. We're gonna put it in our thing. I don't want to waste soil. So we can use that again, and let me show you the finished product that we did. See these cacti, they look a lot better in their new pots. This one wasn't centered that correctly, but that's a really simple process. I mean, like, you have to do it throughout the year, except for the part when they're dormant. So it's a pretty nice group of cacti. But see, the process isn't that hard. I showed you the reasons why we repot and how to choose the pots and the soil and all that. So I hope you've learned something from this video, and hope you can do this yourself now. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be uploading more quality content like this in the future. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.